Hey, it's April. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're listening to this and where you are. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the platform of leaders and speakers. It has come to my attention over the years that people have these feelings that well up inside of them when they get around future leaders and people with spiritual authority, specifically in the church. And what I have seen them doing is the person who has already risen to the position of preacher, pastor, someone with the platform and ability to speak over the pulpit, the microphone, whatever, will use that platform to verbally and spiritually attack the ones who are coming up after them that they have not selected themselves. In other words, someone that they sense is coming up spiritually, or that they sense carries the weight of authority, they will use their platform to talk badly about them, to speak down their name, to attack their self-esteem, to make sure that they feel like they're not all that, and they will use personal details so that that person understands that it's them. Okay? And I have seen nothing be off limits. In other words, they will use information that the person gave them directly. They will use information from gossip of other people, and they will use information that they gleaned off the internet or spiritually, prophetically. They will use all the information from all the sources to launch a verbal and spiritual attack on this person over time. And by over time, I mean it's not a one-time deal. The same person will repeatedly come up in their sermons. And that person might be one of the only people who know what they're talking about, or there may be a few other people who understand that this is the target. Okay? And I think that the purpose of all of this is so that the person who has the platform can remain in control of who comes up after him or her, which is not God's way. God's way is He appoints people. He gives people spiritual authority, and then it manifests into authority in the earth realm. And by messing with that process, you really just put a dagger in your own self, in your own heart. You actually are shooting yourself with arrows, thinking that you're shooting the other person. Well, what you're doing when you do that, you are becoming a Saul. King Saul in ancient Israel was the anointed king of Israel, and he enjoyed his position very much. The problem is he became too prideful, and in becoming too prideful, it caused the Most High God, Jehovah, to dethrone him spiritually. Once God dethrones you spiritually, it's only a matter of time before you are dethroned in the physical. And nobody's exempt. And King Saul, I think in his pride, thought he was exempt from that. He got prideful. He strayed from what God said. He did the opposite of what God said. And then when God anointed a new king, David, Saul knew it and began to attack David. Saul did not attack David once. Saul repeatedly attacked David. And I'm sure he did it spiritually before he did it physically. But it ended up being physical. He ended up throwing things at him. He ended up sending people to kill David. It got real messy. And in that, all he did was think he was delaying what was inevitable. He wasn't really delaying it. He was helping David build a staircase up to the throne he was going to. But Saul really thought he was doing something by throwing all of those spiritual fiery darts and arrows and doing all those attacks. David lamented about it. David wrote songs about it. David cried about it. David prayed to Yah about it. David was upset a lot of days because of the attacks from Saul and other people too. But what I'm saying is that it's the same process for the people with the David spirit now, for the people after God's own heart now, who are next, who have the authority and the green light from the Most High God, Jehovah, to be king, queen, whatever position he has called you to, whatever office. Okay? So the Sauls of this world who are using their position and platform and money to attack all the Davids, they are really going to be upset and disappointed and sad. They're not going to get their way. And if they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to be dethroned like Saul was. It is very important to refuse to attack God's anointed people, no matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. The Most High God deals with us how he wants to deal with us. Okay, so that being said, the people who God appointed are coming up. It's better to not kick against the goads, as it is written, but to ask God who those people are and get out of their way if you're not going to support them, because what is written in the book in heaven of that person is going to manifest, and they will come in the volume of the book it is written of them, like Yeshua said. So you can become a Saul, or you could become a king who walks with the prophet and listens to him because he has what God said. Thus saith the Lord. Also, I know that it is very hurtful to one's pride when you are also an apostle, when you are also a prophet, and you feel like, how dare this new person or this person I don't know come out of nowhere with all this authority? By what authority are you doing this? By whose authority are you saying this? And that's the same thing that the Pharisees were saying. But the Pharisees were also wrong, because just like God raised you, God is raising the next generation, and it won't be stopped by any Sauls. Alrighty, that's all I had to say. May God keep me from attacking Davids who are coming after me. Amen.